So this is going to be a bit of a restorative yoga flow. Good to do at night if you're preparing to go to bed. Perhaps if you've been sitting at a desk all day, you've got a bit of tension in the shoulders and the hips, backs of the legs, so we'll be stretching out those areas. So good one to calm down the mind as well. So start on your backs. If you've got a block, you can always place that underneath the sacrum, just supporting the back, and then bringing the feet together into Supta Baddha Konasana, and then placing the hands away from the body, palms facing up, just taking a few breaths in and out through the nose, lengthening the back of the neck, so tucking the chin in slightly, just trying to quieten down the mind. Any thoughts that come into your mind, just acknowledge them and then let them go. Return to focusing on the breath. So just allowing the belly to rise and fall. And just observing how your body feels. Just noting those areas of tightness and tension. Maybe sending the breath to those areas. And then if you've got the block underneath the hips, just remove the block. Bring the hands to the outside of the thighs and then draw the knees together. Bring both knees into the chest and give yourself a bit of a hug. Just a little rock from side to side. And then placing the hands onto the kneecaps, keeping the big toes touching, knees touching. Just circle the knees in one direction, massaging the lower back. And then circle the knees back in the other direction. Trying to soften the shoulders down towards the mat. And then bring both knees back into the chest. Keep the hands on top of the right shin and then extend the left leg along the mat. So straightening out the left leg. Squeezing that right knee in towards the chest. If it's too much with the left leg extended, you can always place the left foot flat on the mat with the knee pointing up to the sky. And then start to extend the right leg up towards the sky, hands around the back of the legs. Just stretching out through the calf, through the hamstring. And then either taking first two fingers and the thumb around the big toe. If you can't quite reach the big toe, just take the hand to the outside of the right leg and then open that right leg out to the side. You can keep the left hand down onto the left hip. Again, relaxing the shoulders down towards the mat. And then bring that right knee back to centre. Draw the knee in towards the chest again. This time just lifting the head and shoulders away from the mat, rounding out the back. And then releasing the head back down. Extend your right arm out to the right side and then draw the right knee across the body, finding a gentle twist, so not forcing anything,
Option to take the gaze over to the right fingers, softening the shoulders down towards the mat. Sorry. Again, just breathing in and out through the nose. And then bring that right knee back to centre. Bring the left knee into the chest. Give the knees a bit of a squeeze in. Again, taking the hands onto the kneecaps, just circling round in one direction. And then taking it back in the other direction. Bringing the knees back to centre and then taking the interlace of the fingers onto the left shin and extend the right leg along the mat. So drawing the left knee in towards the chest. Again, if it feels too much with the right leg extended, you can place the right foot flat on the mat. Softening the shoulders. And then starting to extend that left leg up to the sky. Hands around the back of the leg. Taking 3 or 4 deep breaths in and out through the nose. And then either taking the big toe with the first 2 fingers and the thumb, or just taking the outside of the leg. Drop the right hand onto the right hip and open the left knee out to the side. Relaxing the shoulders. Bringing your focus to the breath. And then bringing that left knee back to centre, drawing the knee in towards the chest. And then keep the right hand onto the left leg. The left arm extends out to the side and then draw that left leg across the body. Option to take the gaze over to the left. Just relaxing the shoulders down. Sometimes by lifting the right shoulder away from the mat, you can release the left shoulder and then release the right one back down again. So again, not forcing anything. And then bring the knees back to centre. Bring both knees into the chest. And then take a little rock from side to side. And then make your way up to a seated position at the top of the mat. So just crossing the legs, bringing the shoulders up towards the ears, and then releasing down. Again, bring the shoulders up towards the ears, and release. One more, bring the shoulders up high. Exhale, release. Take the feet to a butterfly position. And then start to take an easy forward fold, just releasing the head. If you've got a block or a cushion, you can always place the head on top of the block. Tuning into the breath. And then release the block if you've got the block. And come over onto your hands and knees. So we're going to come into hero position. I'll face this way. If you can, keeping the knees together and then taking the feet wide and sinking the hips back between the heels, and then drawing the heels as close as you can towards the outside of the hips. If that doesn't feel right for you, you can just come onto your kneeling position. But if you can, come down to your hero's pose and then extend the arms out to the sides, wrap the right arm over the left, coming into eagle arms. So either the backs of the hands come together or maybe the palms, softening the shoulders down. Breathing in and out. An option to fold forwards. Lifting yourself back up, unraveling the arms, taking the arms out to the sides, and then crossing the left arm over the right, bending at the elbows. Again, finding the backs of the hands, maybe the thumb and the little finger, or joining the palms together, stretching across the back, across the shoulder blades, and then staying here, or maybe folding forwards again, releasing the head, breathing in and out. And then lifting all the way back up, unraveling the arms, and place the hands down in front of the knees, coming up to all fours, taking the knees to hip distance, and then tucking the toes under, sending the hips up to your downward dog. So just a nice easy downward dog, allowing the head to relax, taking the gaze between the legs. You can always keep a little bend in the knees. And then start to bend one knee, press the left heel down to the mat. So bending the right knee, left heel to the mat. And then switch sides. So right heel stretching down towards the mat, left knee is bent. And then lifting up both heels, lifting high. And then releasing all the way back down. Step your right foot up towards the outside of the right hand, and then drop the left knee down to the mat. Untuck the toes, coming into your lizard pose, lizard lunge. So just feeling a bit of a stretch through the hips. Top of the left foot down onto the mat. Breathing in and out through the nose. And then tuck the left toes under, step the right leg back into your downward dog. So again, just pedal out the feet a little bit, stretching the left heel down, bending the right knee, and then switching sides. And then step your left foot to the outside of the left hand, drop the back knee down, untuck the toes, so the top of the right foot's down on the mat. Back to our lizard lunge. Trying to send the breath to the hips, just releasing any tension in the hips. And then stepping back into your downward dog. Give the head a bit of a shake, yes and no. And then lower the knees down to the mat. So you can keep the knees quite narrow, untuck the toes, take the hips back towards the heels, extending the arms out in front into your child's pose. And then start to bring the palms together, bending at the elbows. Take the arms or the prayer up to, or fingers up towards the sky. And then start to release the fingers down between the shoulder blades. And then release the hands back down, lifting up to all fours, tucking the toes under, and then sending the hips up to the sky. Back to your downward dog. This time, taking the right knee to the back of the right wrist. The right shin is at 45 degrees. And then extend that left leg back behind you, coming into your pigeon pose. So you can stay upright, or you can start to take the arms out in front, finding your sleeping pigeon. Again, if you've got a block or a cushion, you can always place that underneath the forehead if the head doesn't quite lower down towards the mat. And if the hips are a little bit high, just need a bit of support, you can place a block or a cushion underneath the right hip. And then just breathing in and out through the nose. Again, trying to release any tightness and tension in the hips. Relaxing the shoulders. And then slowly walk the hands in towards the hips, lifting the torso. Drop the right hip over to the right side and then bring the left leg forward. So place the right sole of the foot to the inside of the left leg into Janushasana. And then if you've got a cushion, you can always lay a cushion or a pillow along the leg and fold forwards over that front leg. Breathing in and out. Slowly starting to lift back up. Extend the right leg out in front and then come down onto your back, bringing the soles of the feet together, coming back into your Supta Baddha Konasana just for a few breaths. So knees are dropping out to the sides. And then extend the legs long and roll over onto the belly. Bring the hands either side of the chest, pressing into the hands. Come back to all fours. Tuck the toes and then send the hips back to your downward dog. This time bringing the left knee to the back of the left wrist, taking the shin to about 45 degrees. Extending the right leg back behind you and then untucking the right toes, placing the top of that right foot down on the mat. You can stay upright or start to come down into your sleeping pigeon. Again, either using a pillow or maybe just making a pillow with the hands and releasing the forehead on top. Using any props to place under the left hip, if that helps. And then tuning back into the breath. Releasing tension through the hips. letting go on every exhale. And then start to walk the hands up towards the hips, dropping over to the left side so that you can bring that right leg forwards. And again, taking the sole of the left foot to the inside of the right leg. Lengthening as you inhale and then folding over the right leg as you exhale. Again, you can place a pillow along the length of the leg, just fold over on top of the pillow, releasing the head. And then slowly lifting yourself back up, extending the left leg out in front, and then bringing yourself down onto the back. Bring the knees in towards the chest. Just take a little rock from side to side. And then take the arms out to a capital T or to a cactus shape depending on space, and then drop both knees over to the right, taking the gaze to the left. Relaxing the shoulders. And then bring the head back to centre, bring the knees back to centre, take the legs over to the left. Gaze goes to the right, finding some softness through the body. And then coming back to centre, bring the knees back to centre, head back to centre. And then if you've got a wall nearby, go up to the wall and just take the legs up against the wall so the legs are supported. If you don't have a wall, then extend the legs up towards the sky, starting to close off the eyes, calming down the breath. Taking about 8 breaths here with the legs high. And then when you've done your 8 breaths, or stay there for as long as you'd like, release the feet down to the mat, open the knees, and then start to extend the legs to the corners of the mat, allowing the feet to drop out to the sides. Just taking a few breaths in your Shavasana. And then I'll leave you in your Shavasana so you can stay here for as long as you like. Hope you feel relaxed. Thank you for joining me.